Hey guys, as promised, this is the hydraulic pump coupler repair video for the Derette V1000. It has the Kubota D902 engine in it. And before you skip to the good part, because I know how we all like to scroll and just get straight into the project, I do need to make a couple of notes. The most important one is that in my video, you're going to see some of the hydraulic lines hooked back up, and they're actually not correct. I did this project mainly by myself. However, I did have one of my workers who works for a tree service company help me put some of the lines back together. And it wasn't until I got everything together and I fired up the motor that I noticed that something was wrong. The tracks weren't moving. The arms did move, but the tracks didn't. And so after I went over everything, I did notice that those two lines had accidentally been swapped. So I will point that out in the video. That way you guys don't make the same mistake. Second of all, this is my first ever repair video, so, and I understand it's not the best, so go easy on your judgments. But I've done several repairs to this piece of equipment already, so if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me either in the comment section, or you could email me directly at specializedarborservices@gmail.com. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the repair, okay? So now that we got the battery out and the air filter, we're going to go ahead and take off the exhaust and this bracket up underneath it. The exhaust has some bolts up underneath there. They are 14 millimeter, and then some bolts back here, and those I believe, ooh, they might be 10s, but don't quote me on it. And then on the outside you have a couple of bolts here. I already took off one, and then those two over there on the outside, and then this bracket will lift right on up. Alright, now that we have the battery off, the exhaust and air filter, the brackets came off, we are now going to detach all of our hydraulic lines. If you have trouble getting the hydraulic lines off, like if they're pressed in there, I know this one is pressed in there, unscrew this, put a wrench in there that won't hit the threads, and just kind of give it a light tap with a hammer. It'll pop right off. And you could do that to any of the ones that are pressed in there. So we need to take off these hydraulic lines. It's super important that we put them back on the way that they came off. So I took just a little paint pen and I put a little mark over here and a mark down here, and then mark over here, mark down there, mark up front, mark down there, and did like a northeast, southwest. And the hydraulic pump is actually only seated in there with 2 bolts. There's a bolt down here and another one on the other side. You can see it, there it is. And these are 8 millimeter hex keys that just pull right on out. You'll have to use an extension because you can't really get in here. I had to come through the back and do it that way. Once you get the hydraulic pump out of there, it slides right on out. The gear shift or the shaft or whatever pulls right on out. And then you could get to the case here where the hydraulic pump coupler is located. Okay. Got that last bolt out of there, second bolt out of there. Now we got the second bolt out of there. This thing just comes out. Slides right on. Careful not to damage anything. Alright. We're free. Alright, so the hydraulic pump is out and the tank is out. Hydraulic pump must come out first for the tank to come out. Ask me how I know. I definitely tried to take the tank out first. No clearance whatsoever. Ended up having to pull the hydraulic pump. And then got the tank out. And honestly, the tank doesn't have to come out. I just pulled the tank out because I wanted more clearance. And so you guys actually don't have to take the tank out. You can wiggle the hydraulic pump out of there without taking out the fuel tank. So just know that. To take out the fuel tank, if you want to, you do have to remove this hose. And I just want to let you know that this end, this 90 degrees, does not go on this side. I reattached this hose really fast because it was leaking some hydraulic fluid that I didn't get fully out of the tank. And technically this straight end here is what's supposed to go on that side. So not the 90 degree. The 90 degree actually hooks into the hydraulic pump. So swap it around. And then this bolt takes out the tank. There's a bracket that goes on here, and then there's another bolt that you access from the outside. So here that you have to take out. Alright guys, I got a little ahead of myself, and I went ahead and swapped out the coupler without showing it, but it's really simple once we get in there. So inside here is where the coupler is at. This is it right here. And so to get into here, we have to take off these 4 Allen head. There's 6mm Allen head. I used a ratchet, and then there's 3 down below. All of the bolts just bolt right in except for 2. 2 of them require a 13mm wrench to go on the back to hold the bolt. There's one here, and there's one up underneath here. And so you kind of need one of those offset wrenches. A straight wrench doesn't work. So be prepared for that. And then once you get inside here, there are 5 Allen head, also 6mm, to unbolt the actual coupler from in there. This is what we took out of there. So this is where the, let's see, this is where the Allen head bolts go through. And it actually seats, if you can see this ring, it seats in there like that. And so when we pulled it out, you could see where all of the teeth just wore down, either from high loading power or, and you could even see some of the teeth on here chipped off, kind of broke off. But anyways, so this was our problem piece, and the new design is so much better. So instead of having all these little teeth that can wear out, we have 4 chunky pieces that hold it in there. And that does seem to be a better design, so hopefully it works for us. You will also need to take off these motor mounts, but make sure that your motor is suspended properly, either with a cherry picker. I opted for a strap. I just strapped it to the sides here, put a carabiner here on the lifting mount, and I just strapped it in super tight so it wouldn't go anywhere. If you don't do that, it will drop the motor a little bit, or the engine a little bit. So definitely tighten that up before you release those motor mounts. So there's 3 on each side, 3 that need to be released here, 3 that need to be released here. These were 3/4 inch sockets. A ratchet just fit in there just fine. They are a little bit tight, but they're supposed to be tight. And then once you get these off, you can release the motor mount. I don't recommend releasing the motor mount first, just because these will be extremely hard to get off, and because they're Allen heads, they strip really easy. This metal is very soft. I actually stripped a bolt down here, and I ended up having to cut it off, which was definitely a pain, or drill it out. But yeah, so that's how you get in here. That's how you replace the part. This part is now trash. And we're going to go ahead and put this thing back together. I will show you. Hey guys, as I was editing this video, I just realized that it is pretty choppy. It's not the best of video, but it is what I have, and I just want to be able to get it to you guys. It will give you an idea on how to take this part and get that hydraulic pump coupler fixed. But if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Once again, you could comment on the video or email me, specializedarborservices@gmail.com. And I do promise to do better on my next repair video. Thanks, guys.